Hey guys, welcome to this new video. It's been a while. I did post a video a couple weeks back about the Ben & Jerry's, but now I am back for real with the Couch Triathlon series. So essentially what happened last year is I got injured and I couldn't do the race. I screwed up my knee. I'm pretty sure I did do an update about this. I'll link it below. About exactly what happened and all that stuff. But now I'm back. I've been conditioning my knee in the gym for about 6 months, and it's actually better than ever, which is really awesome, and it feels great because I've always had issues with my knees, and it's annoying. Essentially, it's like I used to play soccer indoors, and I hurt myself a lot. So now I'm back on track. Like I said, I've been working out for say about 6 months. I've been doing like a decent amount of cardio, like no more than 4 hours a week, but still a decent amount compared to most strength training programs that I've seen. So essentially, I have been doing mostly biking and a lot of leg days, a lot of conditioning, a lot of core work, and a lot of back work to make sure that everything's supported properly so that I can jump back into this without fear of injury. So I did start running again for real outdoors and stuff like that a couple weeks ago, which was amazing, and I was so happy to actually be able to run again because I fucking love it, and it sucks not being able to, and being injured is just, it's not my jam. I don't like it. So essentially, what's happening now is I ran the sun run a week ago. And while I didn't get my time that I wanted to, I still completed. It was actually the perfect day. It was overcast, it wasn't too warm, it wasn't too cold. I had my jacket with me, but I took it off after the first 10-15 minutes. I realized I brought my water bottle with me for no reason because there were so many water stations, like almost every kilometer, which was crazy. Actually, it was probably at least every kilometer, especially towards the end. It was actually a pretty difficult course for a 10K, especially that it's kind of advertised as the 10K everybody does in Vancouver. There was 40,000 people, so I mean it was giant. But the course was challenging. There's a lot of hills. It was good though. There was one hill in particular. My partner was talking about. He's like, "I'm gonna run up it. I'm gonna run up it." I was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna walk because it's this to go up to the Bride Bridge." If any of you have been to Vancouver, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It basically goes down to the seawall and then up the hill to the bridge. But the rest of it, I ran up most hills. I took it easy down hills just because I didn't want to overexert my ankles, which has been my biggest issue right now. But it's always, every time I've restarted running, it's always just been the issue of reconditioning them to make sure that they are getting used to the distance progressively and stuff like that. And obviously, it was the first 10K I ran this year. Before that, I hadn't run more than 5K. So there's that. But it was amazing, and it felt great to be back running again and racing and doing all these things. Although there were so many people at the start, I was just like, "Okay, can we just go now? Because I can't deal with this. I can't deal with crowds. I hate 40,000 people. Too much." Anyways, moving on. So the plan right now for triathlon training is, so the initial plan that started out when I was conditioning my knee, I was like, okay, so this year, this is what I'm going to do. I said I was going to do 2 Olympics, 1 in June, 1 in September, and then a half marathon in October. And that was my plan. And I was like, I'll run some shorter races in between, some 5K, some 10K, some, whatever. Maybe a sprint. Whatever is available, really, because there's not that many triathlons, but whatever. Sprints I can always do on my own, too. I've done that before. I did it last year. But that was the initial plan. I do have a bit of an ambitious plan. I'm not saying I'm doing it officially, but I am going to be training for it, is essentially what's happening here. My plan initially last year was to do a 70.3 this year, which is super ambitious. I know it's super ambitious for this year. It's basically like a push goal. If I can do it, I'll do it. So there are, the ones here are at the end of July. There's Calgary, July 23rd, and Whistler, July 30th. Whistler is one of the most difficult courses that they have. It's kind of insane. There's like 1,100 meters elevation gain on the ride. So, but I do a lot of climbing around here, so, you know, it's doable. The only thing that I am most worried about is obviously the run. As usual, it's always the run with me. So what's really going to determine whether that happens or not is the next month or so, about the next 6 weeks. So if in the next 6 weeks my running improves with this training plan that I have, which I'll detail for you guys in a minute, if it improves enough, then, and my ankles can hold up and I'm not having to push myself to a point where it hurts. Well, hurts too much. I mean, it's training. It hurts at some point, regardless. But I am going to register for it. If not, then my plan is actually to go to either Austin or to New Orleans in, I think they're both in October, November-ish, anyways, and do it there, then and there. If everything works out, obviously, because I do have to travel and I do have like travel costs and all that shit. But that's essentially my goal for this year. I would really like for it to happen, but like I said, I'm going to train for it, but I'm not counting on it happening because I don't want to, I don't want to injure myself again. And I'm like, obviously I didn't injure myself running last year, but I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to hurt myself doing this 70.3. It's going to be painful regardless. It's going to hurt. It is what it is. Triathlons are not easy. I'm not wanting it to be easy. I'm wanting this to be a really big challenge for me. Since I've really gotten big into being, or big, not really big, but like dedicated, I guess. Dedicated into being super, super consistent with my training. My food's been but that'll improve once I'm training more. I'm going to do another video about this, but I'm basically reverse intermittent fasting. I'm stopping intermittent fasting to be able to do this because I just can't eat enough. Intermittent fasting, like there's no way that I can eat enough and train this much. So essentially, I'll just do this like short. If you guys want a more detailed training plan video, I can make one. But essentially, I'm doing 3 rides, 4 runs, and 2 swims a week. So one day I'll be a brick, obviously. So that's going to be my easy spin day, which is 2 hours. 2 hours of easy spinning, and then I think it's like a super short run. It's like, 4 to 6K. Nothing big, but just to get my transition on and to be able to buy like bricks. I love bricks, like I said. I don't know if I said it in this one. I have to re-record this video. I'm just gonna make sure it's recording. Okay. So yeah, so easy spin for 2 hours, which will likely be on the trainer, simply because there is no, like right where I am, to get to somewhere where I can do easy spins, I have to get through hills, and it's at least 40 minutes. So it's like, I would be easy spinning for a very short amount of time compared to just doing it on the trainer. And then I have a hard ride with lots of hills, which is a really easy run here, for 1.5 hours. And then I have an endurance ride for 3 to 4 hours, which is probably where I'm just going to go out to the suburbs and do this, like there's an 80K loop that we have mapped out, and I think there's another loop to North Van, which is a little bit more hilly, but that's fine. And then, so that's the 3 rides, yeah. And then I'm doing, the training plan actually has 3 runs, but I'm putting 4 in because I'm going to run to the pool. because it's not that far, and taking transit is just actually not better than walking or running there, even though it's like 3 or 4K away. I would have to take like the train and the bus and then walk, and yeah, it's just easier to just run there. And it's along the seawall, so it's gorgeous. So that's an easy run to the pool, and then like I think it's an hour at the pool of tech that day, and then yeah, and then I'm doing like 2 medium length runs, one with sprints, and then a long slow distance on the weekends. So that's essentially running, and then swimming. Yeah, it's one tech swim and one just endurance swim to do. Just get as many laps as possible. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing for the first month, and then I'm going to adjust as I go from there. I am going to be changing pools. The first pool that I'm going to be going to that I haven't even been yet is the Vancouver Aquatic Center, which is under the Burrard Bridge. I think that one has 50-meter lengths, but I think I'm going to be stuck with like 25s most of the time because it depends on the time that I go. I think I'd have to go early in the morning, which I could do. I just need to be getting up in the morning. And then after that, there is actually a outdoor saltwater pool, which is not too far, which is really awesome. Which I'm excited about because I fucking hate chlorine. It just screws up my sinuses and my eyes get super red. And I mean, my hair's not dyed right now, but when it is, the chlorine just does terrible things to it. So that pool, the kids' pool, is actually a 100-meter pool, which is super sweet. It's longer. Longer periods without having to stop or turn around and stuff, which is a little bit better, for especially because essentially I'm supposed to be training for, you know, an outdoor swim in a lake. I think all of the ones that I'm considering are in lakes. No, except the Vancouver one in September, the Olympic. The Olympic in September is actually not far from where I live, but it's an ocean swim. So what I'm going to be doing is on Wednesdays, when it gets a little bit warmer, I think soon, probably in a month or so, there's this group that meet up every Wednesday. They're all triathletes, and we all go out for a swim together, which I'm excited about, and also terrified, because open water swims are terrifying and anxiety causing, but I'm really interested to see how I react more so in a group setting, because I've always gone and done open swims just with one other person, so it's not really quite the same. I think that like safety in numbers really comes into play here, because if you can see other people, it's a little less scary, it's a little less anxiety causing, which will be really nice. But that is essentially everything. Otherwise, I'm doing really good. I just took a week off after the 10K. I'm not really sure why I did. I just wasn't like totally feeling it. Obviously, I took a couple of days off just to recover, because I hadn't run a 10K since last year. Probably like before I got hurt, so in July. So yeah, what was I saying? Right. So I'm starting this new training plan today. Yeah, I'm at least gonna go for a run today. I'm supposed to do an easy spin, but I haven't gotten a back tire for the trainer specifically yet. But we'll see what I'm going to do. I might maybe go to the gym, because I still have a membership. I had to like give them 30 days. And do just an hour, because there's no freaking way I'm doing 2 hours at the gym on their bikes, which are extremely uncomfortable compared to my seat anyways, because my seat is made for me. But yeah, that's essentially everything. So you guys can stay tuned for some new content from me. I'm gonna try to post 3 days a week, maybe more. I'm not gonna promise anything though, because I'm terrible at it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and never stop believing in yourself.